5,000 miles along the Amazon. I walked a high wire between the chimneys at Battersea Power Station. And this time around, I'm going to be taking on my most physically demanding challenge to date. I will be attempting to get to the South Pole entirely under my own steam and taking everything I need with me. I'll be walking, kite skiing, and in a world first, trying to cycle part of my route to the pole. It's the coldest and windiest place on Earth. Temperatures drop to as low as minus 50 degrees Celsius. I have no idea how people do this. Honestly. I don't want to play anymore. This is just so frustrating.
Now that Helen has some skills under her belt, she can turn her attention to the special bike she's hoping will get her to the South Pole, the ice bike. Helen's ice bike is one of a kind, built for her Sport Relief Challenge. The super light frame is made from weatherized aluminium to prevent damage by the harsh weather conditions. Modified handlebars will allow Helen to move into different positions so she can stay comfortable riding hour after hour. And the bike will be fitted with fat tyres, allowing her to travel on the snow and ice. Measuring just over 20 centimetres wide, the tyres on Helen's ice bike are some of the widest in the world. They're designed to spread the weight of the rider over a wider surface area by increasing the contact between the tyre and the snow. This prevents the tyres from sinking. Today, Helen's meeting the creator of the ice bike, Dan Hanebrink, and his team at a wind tunnel. They want to find out how Helen and the bike perform when put to the test in Antarctic wind conditions.
The wind tunnel.
Two factors that affect the performance of cyclists are wind resistance and drag. Wind resistance is the energy it takes for Helen to push the bike through the wind. The faster she moves, the more energy is needed to overcome the wind and move forward. Drag is the pulling force created when air hits a solid object, in this case, the body of the cyclist, and is forced to go around, dragging them backwards. The team want to find out if they can reduce both the wind resistance and drag by changing simple things.
I want to make this as realistic as possible, so when I go into the wind tunnel, I'll be wearing the clothes that I will take to the South Pole. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to make things like this more aerodynamic, but that is the plan. It just feels a little bit bizarre that this room is filled with pictures of people who've been in the wind tunnel and they're wearing tiny, skimpy little lycra outfits. I will be wearing more clothes than I've ever worn in my life.
Okay, we have the zero. You go ahead and begin pedaling.
Oh, there it is. Oh, hello, wind.
Helen's pedalling into wind that's blowing straight towards her at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Exactly the type of wind conditions she can expect in Antarctica. Ever since Amundsen and Scott first made it to the pole, explorers have attempted to find new ways to travel there. Helen's hoping to become the first person ever to use a bike on a journey to the South Pole. If she's successful, it will be a world first, and her achievement would encourage others to push the boundaries of exploration.
I'm not so sure it's going to be that easy to pedal in all this gear. Look at these boots.
One man who knows exactly what Helen's going through is Doug Stoop. He was the first person ever to test the bike in Antarctica in 2003.
And I can already see that she's exhausted from just fighting the wind, and that's really, gives her a little perspective on what she's about ready to get involved in.
Professional cyclists use body positioning to be as aerodynamic as possible. The team want Helen to try out 3 different positions to see what difference it makes to her speed through the air. Smoke is used to show how the flow of air changes as she changes position. The straighter the line of wind, the more aerodynamic and efficient Helen's position is. As Helen moves into the 3rd and final position, the team start to see real improvements in the results.
Her body positioning is excellent, as long as she could keep that up for 500 miles.
Okay, Helen, we're done with that run. You can stop pedaling. Nice job.
The tests have shown that a racing body position can help Helen lose 5 minutes of time for every hour she's on the bike.
I want to make the 3 of them proud. I want to get to the South Pole and for them to all go, yeah, we were involved in that. We helped her get there. They've got the expertise and the experience between them, and I've got to deliver the willpower. And I guarantee it is people like those 3 and their 3 faces that I'll think about when I want to moan and I want to give up. I have to make this a success. I've got to see it through now. I've got to do my bit of the deal.
And the hard work starts now, as Helen's about to experience what it's like to ride a bike on a soft surface for the first time. Expert Doug has brought Helen to the desert to train on a prototype ice bike. Training on sand is the perfect substitute for snow, dry and powdery.
Hopefully, it's going to give me some top tips so I'll be efficient and I use this thing to its full potential.
Hey, Helen!
Hello!
How you doing? It's a scorcher.
You must be exhausted.
But first, Helen wants to find out more about Doug's experience of using the ice bike in Antarctica.
The bike performed really, really well until a big atypical storm came off the Weddell Sea and sort of grounded me for about 5 days with 150-mile-an-hour winds and had to sleep with my feet up against the tent. I didn't get to do exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do about 350 miles, and I ended up doing about 230. So I know the bike works.
Are there key things that I should do on this bike that will make it easier?
I think it's very relative to riding a mountain bike. I think keeping your weight back on the bike too will help because the sand is a little bit loose, and it's really the sand is a really great simulation of what the snow is like on the polar plateau.
Doug wants Helen to see just how different the ice bike is to a normal mountain bike. So they set off for a ride, first on the road, then on the sand.
Good old slow coach here. Come on, I thought with those muscles you'd be whizzing on past.
Well, the ice bike isn't really made for speed. It's made for traveling on the ice, so it's more about endurance.
This isn't that much fun, is it?
I think it's a lot of fun.
All right, permaclogs.
Hey.
Look at the smile on that face. You're so pleased with yourself, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Once you get going, it's all right, but getting going in the sand on a bike like this is virtually impossible.
Well, this is why this bike is better than a typical mountain bike. It has bigger tires for more surface area to travel on softer conditions, and that's why it was a success in the Antarctic and why we can, train out here in the sand.
The tyres make a massive difference, but it's still surprisingly hard work to pedal through sand.
You definitely feel it in your legs, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. So the training needs to just do a bunch of biking and to be ready for your trip.
And Helen's about to work even harder. For her Sport Relief Challenge, she'll be carrying all her equipment in a sled. So Doug's making her practice, with it attached to the bike.
Keep your weight on the back. Good job. You got it. Keep going.
I am waxed, and not just a little bit out of breath. I am in that state where I feel like someone's punched me in the chest. I'd love to say that I'm struggling because it's really hot, and oh, that's fine, I won't have this type of heat in Antarctica. But it's not, it's just hard on sand.
This is the only opportunity Helen has to train with the ice bike before she reaches Antarctica. The sheer effort of training on the sand puts into perspective just how hard riding the ice bike day in, day out is going to be. This really is the toughest challenge of her life. Many explorers have tried and failed to make it to the South Pole. Helen's going to need real determination and endurance to keep going in temperatures of -50 and winds that can reach up to 125 miles per hour. But Helen's on a mission to inspire you to do the Sport Relief Mile and to raise money for poor and vulnerable children in the UK and around the world.
I've looked at loads of pictures and spoke to different people, but I don't think I know what to expect in terms of day after day. What is it actually like?
There's no rest days. You can't sit in your tent and wait for the wind to blow or whatever. You have to get out of the tent every day and put in your time, in your routine. It's a very civilized way of life. Each day you go through your routine, and if you get your miles in each day, you'll get there. 500 miles across some of the most inhospitable places on the planet is not an easy task. You know, you have the best help and the best people and the best gear, and you know, you just have to take it one step at a time, and this is part of the process.
I'm the person that always says, you know, impossible and difficult are two different things. No, actually, I'm the one going, Helen, what are you doing? Like, I want to prove the point that, yeah, you can do anything you put your mind to, but I'm questioning myself, and if I'm questioning myself, who's going to believe in me?
You'll do it. You are a strong-willed human being, and you're doing the training. I think it's just one step at a time. You've done this before with other things, and you know you can do it now.
Time is running out, and Helen wants to make the most of training with the ice bike, so she heads back to the beach to put in some hours.
I need someone to give me a little push back, so you can go to bed. Even if you can make the pedals go round, you can't make the wheels go round. If the wheels aren't going round, I'm not going forward, am I?
Helen's still getting nowhere until she remembers there's something that might help.
Doug said that if I let the tyres down a little bit, it should be easier. And he said a lot about the pressure of the tyres and all that sort of thing, so it must be important. Fingers crossed. Yes! Oh, that is definitely easier. Easy would be pushing it too far. I need to get seriously fit if I want to stand the chance of making any mileage on this thing. Fun for 5 minutes? Practical for 500 miles? I don't think so.